Hello everybody and welcome to Console Peasant Quotes, the series that tells us that the human eye can only see 30 FPS and we've heard it so many times that we actually start to believe it. I actually read quite frequently that some of you stop watching the show because you legitimately feel yourselves getting dumber. I have no hope, do I? Oh well, let's do this. Xbox One is $200, GPU in a computer, $800. Just one of the many components in the computer is 4 times the cost of an Xbox. You're all just jelly. Alright, we can make it that simple. A bike is $200. A car engine is $800. Just one of the many components in a car is 4 times the cost. Except with a car, I have more space. I can roll my windows down. I have radio, more seats, better safety in a crash situation. Weird, it's like I'm paying for versatility and convenience or something. Now, if only every graphics card didn't cost $800. Bro, I have a 32-bit Windows 7. This game needs 64-bit to play. How can I get it? Will it work if I install my Windows 7 twice? Yes, install it twice. You'll also get Windows 14. Thanks, bro. You're a legend. I gotta admit, this is kinda legendary. You ever wonder what happens when you install Windows 7 and then 10? You may think you get Windows 17, but actually you just get Windows 7 with ads all over the place. I have a 240Hz monitor, and my PC runs at 200 FPS. Hertz doesn't affect your FPS, it affects the fluidity of the frames. 240 Hz on 60 frames will look the same as 200 frames on 240 Hz. Wow, okay, I don't even know where to begin here. So, there's a common misconception that frame rate and Hertz are the same thing, which is not true. See, frame rate is determined typically by your graphics card, or whatever graphics processing unit is inside your PC, whereas the amount of Hertz is determined by the limitations of your monitor. So if you have a 60 Hz monitor, that particular monitor cannot display a refresh rate higher than 60 Hz, but your graphics card could be pushing more or less frames. The sentence 240 Hz on 60 frames will look the same as 200 frames on 240 Hz is just malformed. It doesn't make any sense at all. This whole G-Sync and FreeSync thing is a piece of shit. If they haven't killed VGA and replaced it with an inferior DVI or HDMI, we'd have never had any synchronization problems. Since they introduced HDMI and DVI, it was a disaster. Even G-Sync and FreeSync are no match for VGA. VGA was pure, real-time sync with absolute zero lag. Okay, so even if this was true, VGA cables really only did well in sub 1080p resolutions. Beyond that, you got ghosting issues and quality loss. VGA cables are also analog, so the longer the cable, the higher the loss in quality. I will say that G-Sync and FreeSync have their faults, but that's just how technology works. Nothing's perfect, not even VGA. Honestly, f*** emulators. Sure, it's legal, but it doesn't mean you should do it. The console and game creators don't like it. They intended for you to play it on the intended platform, hence exclusives. If the console was never created, a lot, if not most of the games you're emulating wouldn't exist. Have some damn respect. If you can afford the PC, you will surely be able to afford an obsolete console. A while ago, Sony released a PS3 emulator on the PC, and started taking down other PS3 emulators. What do I think of this? I think it's a smart business move. They copied a product Sony worked hard on. Everyone started using that as an argument towards Sony being anti-consumer. No, they created the original console, and they have every right to do whatever they want with it. No one else. Emulating should be illegal. I rest my case. See, this is the kind of thing that I disagree with, but it doesn't necessarily have a right answer. Maybe I should have to buy every old console and the games that I want, but more often than not, the money I spend won't go anywhere but to a third party or some dude on the internet, so that's kind of a waste. Most emulators that Sony and Nintendo come out with only have a few games on them that I've actually wanted. And this whole they made the console so they can do whatever they want works if you're okay with losing some of these old classics forever. Either because the company won't sell it anymore or it's trying to wipe it from the internet so nobody else can have it. When it comes to emulation, I don't think anyone can tell you what to do. It's such a gray area that you just gotta make that decision yourself. Because PC gamers are criminals, period. They hack and mod and they do nude mods for female characters in video games. Okay, if naked chicks in video games bother you, then there are a lot of studios that need to be taken down. Facepunch, CD Projekt Red, Rockstar, Funcom. I will agree that hacking is stupid, but it's not criminal. Not unless someone's trying to use a video game to find your social security or something. I do have some advice though that might help you out a bit. If mods, hackers, or naked ladies bother you, then stop giving them your attention. Nobody's forcing you to download a naked lady mod, and I can still count on one hand the amount of times I've run into a hacker in a video game. It's not as big a deal as people make it seem. Dude, you know consoles have superior hardware ways better than PC. Yeah, that'd be true if you compare the hardware specs to a 2008 PC. Really? Then explain how I can upgrade my hardware just by downloading new firmware. And the 60 FPS thing is overrated, that's a fact. What? That's not how upgrading works. 'Tis though. Then please upgrade my car. Oh my god. You know what's sad? These people who believe that you can upgrade your tech just by downloading some software update are the exact same people who fell for it when 4chan claimed an update allowed you to charge your phone in the microwave, or that a software update made your iPhone waterproof. It just goes to show people believe anything even if they're the ones who made the thing up. Considering the fact Apple invented Bluetooth, first to have dual camera, first to stream movies to TV, I can see we are $1 trillion. I hate to be that guy, but actually, Dr. Jap Harston invented Bluetooth in the 90s. The first cell phone to have a dual camera was the Huawei P9, which came out in 2016. After that one was the HTC Evo 3D and then the LG Optimus 3D. iPhones didn't start using the dual camera until 2017, with the iPhone 7 Plus being the first to use it. And we've been able to stream movies to TVs since television's inception. And if you don't count that, then there were services far before Apple's. Don't get me wrong, it's cool that Apple has all the money, but you can do a little better with your fact-checking there. This is why Sony will always win with the PlayStation, because they have 24-hour support 365 days a week. 365 days a week? That sounds reasonable. No further questions. Do you realize how easy you have it? I was just at a convention playing Overwatch for the first time on PC and I was blown away by how simple the gameplay was. I mean, you even realize you play in slow motion? I completely stomped in the games I was in. If you were playing around 6 p.m. US Central Time against GameStation 05, I apologize for the whooping I put on you. I hardly play PC games, and I don't even know the keyboard well, but from what I do know and people saying on forums just press Q, left click shift to win, etc., I figured it out pretty fast. Even dropped some BMs with C once I figured out that was chat. You PC people need to give console players more credit. I can understand why you bash on gold players on PC. They were hot garbage. But a gold player on console might as well be a platinum/diamond player in PC standards. I was blown away by the difference between PC and console play, and how simple PC was compared to console. Well, yeah, that's no secret, but there is something you're missing here. First-person shooters are harder on consoles. This is why a ton of console shooters have aim assists. With the mouse, you move your arm and shoot. It's extremely easy. But this puts you on a platform with a higher skill ceiling. Now you're not playing against other players' aim assists, you're going skill v skill against other players' real-time hand-eye coordination. They're true-to-life reaction times. I'm glad you had a good time in Overwatch, but don't get cocky, because there are some pretty quick people on this platform and they aren't restricted by an analog stick. Is there any PS4 emulator for PC available yet? No, because there's no computer powerful enough to emulate the PS4 yet. Oh my god, I'm just gonna stop you there. That's not why. While it is true that you do need a machine to be more powerful than the console you're emulating, it doesn't have to be leagues more powerful. There are only a couple emulators that require a lot more power, and that's mostly due to the emulator not being completed yet and fully optimized. These things take time. They're not being developed by companies, but by people like you and I. Groups of people with lives and jobs who also have to duck legal trouble from Sony and Nintendo all the time. So yeah, it takes a while. But it's not a hardware or power issue, there's a little more going on than that. Why does 30 FPS on PS4 look better than PC 30 FPS? Same reason Apple's 1080p looks better than Samsung's 1080p? Because we're dumb and convince ourselves of stupid things that don't exist? There's a terrible trend in modeling flat butts in video game male characters that cannot support their weight to avoid straight men feeling uncomfortable gay feelings. Stop it. Signed, a lesbian 3D character artist who scopes butts on her boys. What? This isn't a thing? Look, I appreciate what you do. It's very important to get a nice butt on your boys, but I swear to God, I've never been sitting there playing Metal Gear Solid, staring at Snake's bountiful booty hills and thought to myself, oh, uncomfortable gay thought. Who knows, maybe I'm the weird one, but this feels like a non-existent issue. Also, if you are the kind of person who looks at Snake's booty and gets hot and heavy, newsflash, you might like fellas. You're welcome. Now the whole problem's solved on both sides. Every platform has good and bad. I don't know how the unjustifiably overpriced PC is better. You pay triple more over console and get a few more frames and get to play on a tiny monitor that's also expensive. I disagree with PC being any better than console in pricing or convenience factor. PC is being neglected by game studios. It does need better games. Some people are still playing The Sims, CS, PUBG, Dota 2, WoW. Don't you think there's a reason PC gamers are still sticking with older games? I don't know, maybe they like those games? This next part's gonna sound rude, and I'm not trying to be rude, but on PC there's games that you can just play forever. It's not a one-time story with no replayability. I mean, those exist, but I don't see why it's so weird for someone to enjoy playing a single game over and over again. Looking back to when I was on console, I don't think I knew what it was to love a video game. Not that you can't find it on consoles, but we have a ton of those kinds of games over here, on PC. Game communities here just last longer. Shouldn't us console players be teaming up and hating on PC together? What's the point in fighting if we're all a console family? Because you're not a console family. I hate that we look at stuff like, are you a Samsung or an Apple? How is it that we don't realize that we're just people with a cell phone? Just people who are athletic or people who are gamers? Why do we feel such a need to lock our personas to a platform or brand? I play video games, and so do you. As far as I'm concerned, you're alright by me no matter what platform you chose. How about you team up and do right by yourselves instead of the brand you worship? Facts. 1080p 60fps Ryzen, 1440p 60fps Ryzen, 4K 60fps Ryzen. Any resolution at 144Hz? 8700K. I don't need to say much here. I have a Ryzen 7 1700 CPU. I only play games at 1440p and I almost never have a problem running my games at 144Hz. Not to say the 8700K isn't better, it very much is. I just have this series I do where I point out annoying fanboyism. Pro gamers, yet not one of them have played Arma. Most pro gamers are console players, so obviously no. Really? Is that so? So when you look up pro gamers, one of the first links you get is the 15 highest paid pro gamers. They play games like StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Dota 2, Warcraft 3. Oh, here's one who played a Nintendo Championship. But he mostly competes in Dota Championships. These are all PC games, but that's not fair. These are just the highest paid pro gamers. If we look into the most famous esports games, most of these are either multiplats or PC exclusives, with one exception being Super Smash Bros. And if I go to Twitch and click on random championship games, it looks like most of these are on PC as well. Not that it makes a difference, I'm just being thorough. Isn't that the whole purpose of playing PC games? To manipulate the system and cheat your way to success? If you want fair play without all the cheaters, you play on console. Huh. I guess I've been playing PC games wrong. Let me try this whole cheating thing. How about Skyrim? That's a good one to try. Haven't played that one in a while. From here forth I shall be known as Smidlilith. I think that means Satan in Nord. God mode enabled. Your death will be no more than a means to entertain me. And if I'm not entertained enough, I swear to God and my child-killing mods, I'll bring you back to life and make you suffer. Ooh, a lightsaber. That's mine.
I'm Kylo Ren. I want to be a Jedi. Listen to me cry for 2.5 hours.
I don't know why people are so afraid to fight giants in this game. It's easy. Wow, that mini Mechagodzilla is just having its way with that big Mechagodzilla. Wow, I'm actually having a good time playing Skyrim. Odd. Console is the winner because I have a lot of consoles, and console gamers have to work for the game and earn the prize. Yeah, screw that mess. That last guy showed me a better way to play video games. Literally, only noobs use PC Part Picker. No joke. If you have to use a site to build a PC, you shouldn't be building a PC. Also, calling a computer with an AIO closed loop a water-cooled system makes my skin crawl. Just saying, but then again, I'm an elitist like PCs like most of you guys are about ELO. What does Electric Light Orchestra have to do with anything? Actually, now that I think about it, Electric Light Orchestra has to do with everything. But you are wrong about the PC Part Picker thing. PC Part Picker is a great site to use to see how many watts your system will be utilizing, to see the prices for various websites you'll buy from, and a closed-loop liquid cooler is still a liquid cooler. Sorry, Mr. Pro, but you're being a Mr. Prick for no reason. You're even giving bad advice based on your elitism. I was a computer hardware technician. I've built over 2,000 computers, and I still use PC Part Picker. It's convenient. I gotta say, of all the ending clips I've shown, some of my favorite ones are from closed-minded adults. One of the best examples being Mr. Cowherd, who has just one more thing to say about esports gamers. I found it pretty funny. Enjoy.
There's a reason esports nerds get really hypersensitive to being called nerds, 'cause they're nerds.
No, they want to be taken seriously.
Why would they be so uptight if lots of people want to be taken seriously, but if you walked up to Ed Norton or Morgan Freeman and said you couldn't act, they wouldn't be bothered by it?
I think that they're just looking for you to acknowledge that this is actually a really cool thing. A lot of people like it. A lot of them are successful. And these games are fun. Why can't you acknowledge that?
Why do I have to?
Because, well, you don't have, I guess you don't have to acknowledge that, but you could just be nice. You don't have to be so mean.
Sometimes I'm not, it's not about, listen, if this show was called The Gamers or The Callers, then they could dictate the topics, but it's called The Herd. And so sometimes I don't like your act. Wrestling fans are booger eaters and esports players are nerds. That doesn't mean one of them didn't luck out and bump into a pretty girl once and have a coffee with her. I'm not saying
that's mean.
They're not completely socially inept. I'm saying just the probability is terribly high.
Hello everybody and welcome to Console Peasant Quotes, the only show on the internet that shows us that we're all just gamers and the platform's gay as hell.